and welcome to NAFDAC and Your Health. Every week on the program, we provide you with insightful information about NAFDAC's activities aimed at protecting the health of Nigerians. I am your host, Tosin Adebayo. NAFDAC, through its Veterinary Medicine and Allied Products Directorate, has put several measures in place to improve safety and indeed productivity in farming.
The Veterinary Medicine and Allied Product Directorate is a very important directorate to us in NAFDAC. And they've been working very hard to ensure that whatever products, pesticides that have been banned in other countries are also banned here. What we have discovered is that there are many products that were banned in a country, but they were still exporting them to other countries. But it is because they have countries that will receive them. So what we are trying to do now is to ensure that whatever is banned in another country, we don't take. So we're going to delist a lot of pesticides that are coming into the country, just to make sure that they do not, get into our supply chain to harm our people. But it is not just the medicine itself. Feed. We are in charge of the feed that animals, livestock, eat, and we have to be also sure that the feed has the composition that it's supposed to have. Again, like medicines, what they take is what they give us. Fish, for example, you cannot be giving fish hormones to grow bigger, because they will transfer the hormone to us, and all sorts of things will start happening. So there are just so many people think that because it's animal, it's okay, they can do whatever. No, because we eat most of the animals that we take care of. Therefore, we put a lot of premium on veterinary medicines. Talk of good manufacturing practice. Our vet medicine directorate staff just got trained by the Drug Evaluation and Research Directorate that focuses on human medicines. Because it is the same premium. The fact that you're going to give it to animals doesn't mean that it shouldn't have quality. And bear in mind, if it is animal that we can use, the animal is just an intermediary between the human, between the medicine and humans, because we're going to eat the animal. And if we eat the animal, you have drug residue. If it is used at a level that is too high, then the residue stays higher at that in the animal too. And then when we take it, we run into problem. Talk of antibiotics. It leads to antimicrobial resistance, meaning you've been using amoxicillin, it was working, but after a while, it no longer worked. It's because of antimicrobial resistance, and it has killed so many people. So veterinary medicines are well monitored, are being well monitored with a lot of emphasis due to so many other things, so many negative impact that they could have on humans, which is antimicrobial resistance.
Basically stands for antimicrobial resistance. And basically what it means in layman's language is that antibiotic resistance. So basically you're using an antibiotics, but it's not giving the desired response, because the antibiotics become ineffective. It's not treating what it has been administered to do. Basically what AMR does is that it allows illnesses which would have been treatable for you to have a prolonged stay in the hospital and then having higher costs of treatment. And then we have cases of mortality, that's death, occurring. We have seen instances where antimicrobial resistance occurs naturally, but however, the misuse and the abuse of these products accelerates antimicrobial resistance, where you have people who are not using the dosage that has been prescribed for them. They either use their underdosing or they are overdosing themselves. So these are some of the things that actually will accelerate the effects of antimicrobial resistance.
NAFDAC is working to raise knowledge about AMR across all aspects relating to public health so that users are aware of new alternatives.
NAFDAC activities on antimicrobial resistance cut across the different sectors of the country, the human health sector, the animal health sector, the food sector, and on farm too. The activities cut across from farm to fork, and what we basically do is to put in place some measures to combat the war between human race and the microbes. The antimicrobial resistance situation today is actually a war between the microbes and man, in that most of these microbes that are under control or checked in the time past are no longer susceptible to the same drugs or medicine that are used on them. And then what we've done now is to ensure that the use of antimicrobial agent is controlled and is judicious and according to prescription. And what we mean by that is that you only use it when you need it, and you don't use it for things that will be able to strengthen the microbes in developing resistance. For instance, using antibiotics as a growth promoter is no longer allowed, so that we don't have a situation whereby when you give antibiotics in the feed, in the subladder dose, encouraging the growth of some class of bacteria that will aid digestion. Thereby, the one you are trying to suppress will be building resistance over time. And we've given a policy on that, and we are monitoring that. We are ensuring that nobody use antibiotics as growth promoter. There are alternatives. You can use enzymes, organic acid, probiotics, prebiotics in feed. And the campaign so far has been encouraging, and the people that are yielded are equally making us to know from the feedback that it's even cheaper to use other alternatives apart from antibiotics. Another thing we're doing as agency is to ensure that biosecurity are in place on farms. You put measures in place to combat microbes, the invasion of microbes on your farms, not only in animal farms, even in plant farms, agronomy, people that plant vegetables and citrus and other crops. If you have biosecurity measure in place, the microbe will not infect your animal or your crop, and you will not need antimicrobial agent to combat them. Then another thing we stress is the use of vaccination for animals. If you vaccinate your animal and you maintain the vaccination regimen for the animals, obviously they will build immunity against some of these pathogenic organisms, and you may not need to be treating those infections again, because the infection will not even come up at all. NAFDAC as an agency, we collaborate with sister agencies nationally, and we also collaborate with international bodies as regards our fight against antimicrobial resistance. Lately, we participated in Codex Task Force on Antimicrobial Resistance, and we developed 2 documents, Code of Practice and Guidelines. And from those documents, by the time it's being passed by Codex, we have a good document to work with in ensuring that the professionals practice according to the ethics of their profession in mitigating against antimicrobial resistance. And the guideline is going to enlighten us on the procedure, the standard procedure we're to engage in handling uses of this antimicrobial agent, so that we'll be able to prevent the possibility of them building resistance against us. And at national level, we are a member of One Health Concept Desk, which domiciles at NCDC, that's the Nigerian Center for Disease Control. NAFDAC is represented on that committee, and then we're working according to the National Action Plan and all the action plans that leverage on NAFDAC mandate are being observed, incorporated into the agency work plan, whereby we put up all different measures to combat antimicrobial resistance. Chief of this is the enlightenment, creating awareness, and making professionals to know that antimicrobial resistance is with us, is a global menace that we must combat. When that awareness is there, then we can bring to fore our expertise in ensuring that all these microbes will not invade us unaware, but we put them in check and make sure that we control them.
We'll take a short break now. Stay with us.
Beware. Fake or damaged drugs have put many people in serious health harms and have killed many others. But you can protect yourself by seeking professional healthcare advice when you feel unwell. Buy drugs from only licensed pharmaceutical outlets and make sure you check the packaging for poor condition, spelling errors, and unclear labelings. Also, check NAFDAC registration number, batch number, the expiry date, manufacture date, and manufacturer's address before paying, and always collect a receipt. If you suspect a drug to be fake or damaged, report immediately to NAFDAC on 0800-162-3322 or send an email to sf.alert@nafdac.gov.ng. Protect yourself and your loved ones. This message is brought to you by NAFDAC with support from WHO.
Welcome back. In safeguarding the health of the nation, NAFDAC, through the VMAP Directorate, ensures medicines used on animals as well as chemical usage on animal feed are of good quality and the right proportion.
Agency is responsible for ensuring that food being manufactured, exported, imported, advertised, distributed, sold, and used in Nigeria is safe and of the right quality and wholesome. The products that are under our purview are the veterinary medicines, you have the pesticides and agrochemicals, and then we also have the animal feed, supplements, and additives. These products, they play a vital role when it comes to farm to fork. For us in the Directorate, we're happy with what we do because this is a Directorate that contributes to the inputs that goes into the farm through the value chain until the food gets to the table. Now, for our input when it comes to the farm, we have pesticides, agrochemicals, and then we also have the veterinary medicines that are used on animals. And then we also have animal feeds that you use for animals. Now, these, we understand in the Directorate, play a very important role. We try as much as possible to ensure that we build quality, safety into the products that are in the open market to ensure that products, once they are used according to manufacturer's specifications, direction for use, are safe. Now, let me give you an instance. When you have agrochemicals that are being used on farms, we try to ensure through our creating awareness, ensuring that we have a strong relationship with our stakeholders, trying to pass a message out there to our stakeholders and farmers as well to ensure that products are used responsibly and according to manufacturer's specification. Pesticides are supposed to be used according to the direction for use to ensure that we don't have issues of residue. Now, residue is very important because you don't want to have residue on food, and then you're also trying to ensure that you don't have residue also left behind in the environment as well. And then we also have, you're looking at the veterinary medicines, trying to ensure that we don't have issues of antimicrobial resistance becoming a part of the human and animal circle, trying to ensure that people use veterinary medicine according to direction for use to ensure that you don't have issues of residue left over in food, to make sure that you also try to make sure that you have residue that are allowable, not above the maximum residue limits. And then that's why we have messages that we're passing on to people to ensure that they don't use etoxyquin as antioxidant in food, and also try not to use antibiotics as growth promoters also in animal food. And then we'll also have, and that's for feed, and then understanding that the issue of residue has its health implication. And that's the message we're trying to pass out there, that residue can cause nutrient imbalance. Residue can also cause a reduction in the quality of agricultural produce. And we know that this has a great impact on food security. So it's very important for us to actually send a message out there to our stakeholders to ensure that the products that we have, that the products that are being regulated and controlled by VMAP, that are used in accordance to manufacturer specification, to make sure that that the end product, which is the food on our table, is not one that we're going to be having issues of residue on them. We're trying to ensure that roles that we play in the farm to fork strategy is trying to ensure that we have a sustainable food system in place, which ensures that the food is safe, which is also ensures that ensuring public health of the nation, and also ensuring that food security as well, by making sure that people have access to food that is wholesome, that is safe, and nutritious, and of the right quality.
NAFDAC, in ensuring proper handling and usage of products on plants and animals, has put together guidelines for handlers of these products in order to achieve and maintain good storage practice and usage.
Between the point of production of every product and the end user, there is a channel of distribution. And it has been observed that most people that come on board in that value chain, some are there for economic gain solely. And so they do not really understand the technical input as per how the product should be properly handled. And every regulated product, when you look at the label, we always have detail as regarding the storage of that particular product. And most people don't even look at that. And one of the major critical factors that affects the quality and the efficacy of that product is the storage. So if, for example, a product that you have on the label to be stored at maybe 25 degrees centigrade, maximum room temperature, and the handler of that product procure the product and choose to leave it under the sunlight, your guess is as good as mine, because over time, the temperature will rise, and it has been proven by research that increase in temperature affect the efficiency of the vitamins, the minerals that are used as additives, especially in the animal feed inputs. So on the long run, what you likely have is a product that is of less quality. And the animals, when they take this product, it affects them in many ways. The product, number one, will not deliver the nourishment required. And that will lead to weakening of the animals, which ultimately will also bring about secondary diseases. Not only that, products that are not properly stored. For example, if you get a animal feed product, and you choose to just store it not on the pallet and in a moisture place, of course, there's a tendency for that product to get, moisture from the floor. And over time, it can lead to mold growth. And mold growth definitely has negative impact on whoever consumes that product. So it's very key we maintain the good handling and distribution practice.
One other measure the agency has put in place to curtail the misuse of veterinary medicine, animal feeds, and agrochemicals is the mandatory listing of all dealers in these products.
The agency has put in place some measures to bring together all the dealers of these products. We need to know who and who is selling what and what. We need to know the warehouse or the shop or whatever you're selling, and we need to know even the person that is handling it, the technical officer. We need to be sure that the technical officer is fit, is qualified to handle it. So not just anybody can handle the product or can sell the product. Then the agency has banned the sale in the open market. Sale of products in the open market and the supermarkets, except the supermarket that has a guarded corner. Guarded corner in the sense that it's not going to be mixed with other products in the supermarket. It's going to be carved, we're going to carve up a small place, you put it there, then there must be somebody that is knowledgeable enough to handle it. So that whoever wants to buy the product will have to ask questions and educate, enlighten whoever is buying, so that you know whether you should sell to this person or not. Another new development in the Directorate is the ban on use of paraquat. Paraquat also is a herbicide that is toxic both to the grant to the users, and it can also contaminate our water. It's toxic generally. It's very effective. It works, but at the same time, when we compare the disadvantages with the advantages, the disadvantage is more because it causes cancer and all sorts of respiratory disorder. So because of this, the agency has come up with some measures to ban the use of paraquats. Then the agency is working on atrazine too. The atrazine agency has met with the stakeholders of atrazine. Atrazine is also a pesticide that is toxic to the users, pollutes our water. The disadvantages is more than the advantages. Because of this, the agency has sort of banning the product.
That's all we have time for on the program this week. Make it a date for another insightful edition next week, same time, same station. In the meantime, if you have comments, complaints, or you want to report activities of fake drugs or adulterated food products peddlers, our doors are always open. You can reach NAFDAC via toll-free numbers. For inquiries, call 0700 162 3322. For complaints, call 0800 162 3322. You may also email NAFDAC at nafdac.gov.ng. If you have complaints about any form of misconduct, you can reach the Reforms Unit via email reforms@nafdac.gov.ng or call the Reforms hotlines on 0909 763 0506 or 0909 763 0507. NAFDAC, customer focused, agency minded. Importing, producing, distributing, and selling fake drugs and cosmetics, adulterated food, and so on are criminal activities that destroy lives. Join the fight against these heinous crimes by reporting any suspicious activity in your area to NAFDAC. Let's join hands to safeguard the health of our nation. See you next week. Stay safe.